this time, we want to welcome everyone to the council oath ceremony. At this time, would you please focus your attention to the north here as we have the lighting of the fire. Now we'll have the call from Agena Mack from Fishbond. This time, would you please rise as we post the colors. As we get to a certain point, we'll have the Pledge of Allegiance.
Right, set, huh.
Please salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Foot, step, huh. Right, T. Left, set, huh.
At this time, I would like to call to the podium Principal Chief James FLoyd. You may be seated.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our Council Oak ceremony for 2016. I want to thank, first of all, the Honor Guard for bringing the colors in, and also want to thank all of the veterans who have served our country that are here today, and thank them for their service, because without that we probably wouldn't be having this ceremony. So also want to thank the Tourism Recreation Department that hard to plan and organize this event for us this afternoon, and put a plug in for them. They're selling the shirts over here, the festival shirts at the table, and so if you're interested, please make your way over there sometime this afternoon. Also want to recognize all the MECOs and ground leaders who are with us this afternoon, and to thank them for what they do in keeping our people involved in the ceremonies and the faith of the grounds and the spirit of the grounds, and so the hard work that they put in all the time for us and our families. So I want to thank them for being here today, each one of you. I keep my remarks short, but it's great to be here in this property, and it's great that I know that the mayor couldn't be here, but for the mayor and the city council to set this ground aside for us, so that we can always have this as a reminder of where we originated from in terms of our government, and as well as our traditions in this location, and set the initial point for the city of Tulsa. And so to have it preserved, I think is great, and I want to thank all the city officials if they're here today for their work to keep this for us. At this time, I'd like to also thank each one for attending and your family, and hope that you can enjoy this ceremony and other ceremonies planned, or other events planned for this afternoon, this evening. So welcome, and turn the time back to our Master of Ceremonies, Geebon Gouge.
Hello, Chief. This time I do want to recognize the lighting of the fire, which is Mr. Raymond Milley and Ace Buckner of Albika. Let's give them a round of applause. With that, I would like to introduce as our ceremonial grounds leaders from Arvika Raymond Mealy. Duck Creek Ceremonial Ground, Simon Harry Felix Brown Jr. Fish Pond Ceremonial Ground, Hawaii Matt, Justin Matt. From Greenleaf, we have Bill Proctor. Hickory Ground, Miko George Thompson. Philippi Ceremonial Ground, Geebon Colonel. Beach Ground, Vince Butler. Polecat, Boston Rowe. Yanni Spencer. And Paige White. From Sand Creek Ceremonial Ground, we have Richard Wildcat and Anthony Cargill. From Tallahassee, Waiugai, we have David Proctor and Sam Proctor. And again, want to recognize Jenna Mack for the first call from Fish Pond. Let's give our ceremonial ground leaders a round of applause for being here with us. Also would like to recognize Speaker Lucian Tiger III. He's here with us from the National Council. From the Tulsa District, we have Mr. Robert Hub. From the Okmulgee District, Mr. James Jennings. I believe we have Mr. Randall Hicks from Okfuskee District. I believe he's here. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't see anybody else here from the National Council. This time, I'd like to also introduce that we have Miss Muscogee Nation, Miss Brittany McCain, and Junior Miss Madeline Lamb. Let's give them a round of applause. This time, I would like to call to the podium for the history of the Council of Miss Muscogee Nation, Miss Brittany McCain. Let's give her a round of applause.
Pressure from southern white settlers to increase the size of their cotton kingdoms, President Andrew Jackson readily signed the Indian Removal Act of 1830. The act ultimately led to the deportation of Native Americans from the southeast United States to the Indian Territory west of the Mississippi River. The 1832 Treaty of Cassetta ceded all Muscogee land claims in Georgia and Alabama. With no more ancestral homelands in their grasp, the remaining Muscogee people were forced to stockades at Fort Mitchell, Alabama to await their westward journey. Despite treaty obligations and land reserves in the southeast, the federal government forced removal upon more than 20,000 Muscogee people to unknown lands west of the Mississippi. From the summer of 1836 to the spring of 1837, 3,500 Muscogee people died on the long walk that would become known as the Trail of Tears. The people of Loja-Boga arrived in Indian Territory in 1836. In a ceremony proclaiming their arrival and establishing their new home, they placed the ashes from their original fire at the base of a towering oak. This place, on a hill overlooking the Arkansas River, they brought to life a new fire. This site, referred to as Tulsa's first city hall, is now known as the Creek Nation Council of Park, and it was listed in the National Register of Historic Places in 1992.
At this time, I'd like to call on Junior Miss Muscogee Nation, Madeline Lamb, and she will be reading the history of Loja-Boga.
History. Loja-Boga is the daughter town of Tulsi, Old Tulsa, and sister town of Tulsi Ujina Kachin, Tulsa Cedar River, also known as New Tulsa. It is a descendant of Coosa and related to Hickory Ground, Okfuskee, and Tullamujazi. The common translation of Loja-Boga is Turtle Meeting Place. Another translation is Turtle Fades Away. As the city of Tulsa grew, disturbances in their ceremonies forced the tribal town to look for a new home. Unable to find a suitable site, the Loja-Boga took the embers of their fire and put them in their sister town, New Tulsa. Like so many of the original tribal towns, Loja-Boga became an inactive ground. But even so, the site marked by the council oak became important to the Muscogee Creek tribe. 44 tribal towns resettled in Indian Territory, and now 16 remain active. They are Alabama, Arbeca, Duck Creek, Fish Pond, Greenleaf, Hickory Ground, Hillaby, Kellyville, Polecat, New Tulsa, Okfuskee, Peach Ground, Sand Creek, Iron Post, Tallahassee, Cromwell, Tallahassee, and today we gather here to honor our ancestors and acknowledge their struggles and contributions as we celebrate the people that perpetrate the tradition of Muskogee culture. Mado.
Next on the agenda, we are missing Mr. Mayor Dewey Bartlett that is unable to be here to read a proclamation from the city of Tulsa. So we'll move on to closing remarks from Principal Chief James FLoyd at this time.
As we get prepared to close, I also want to recognize we have royalty visiting with us as well. I want to recognize you here and welcome you. Welcome to sit up here with our royalty if you'd like. And again, I want to thank all that have prepared for this event today. Each year seems like I have a little bit different weather today. It seems like the wind's blowing around, but that's great. Again, I want to thank our grounds leaders and for all that they do to help us every day, and for the commitment they have to always be there for us. And so, their presence here is much appreciated. And so, Mado, one of the Mikos. And thank each one of you for attending today. And hope that you can take part in the other activities of this day as we recognize and come to a conclusion of this part of the council oath ceremony and prepare for the others this afternoon. And so for more details on that, I'll give that back to Geebon here in just a second. But again, I want to thank you all very much for attending this afternoon.
Madam Chief. Also, the activities that will be following this event here at 3:30, we'll have the stickball, and all these will take place at the Tulsa Creek Indian Community Center. The 3:30 stickball game, and 5 o'clock dinner, and a 6 o'clock stomp dance. So we want to welcome everyone to please following this ceremony. We would like to invite everyone to the Tulsa Indian Creek Community Center for those activities. And at this time for the dismissal, I would like to invite Mr. Sam Proctor to give us a dismissal.
Ayubi lumatanat ididaka dito kumadulog yang lakka na naman so salida aboka di ang birada mumatana do dito yung mabatsan ako idalin dun no sinakakita ibuhos ka na istoy ibuhite Budai Onapsisugin Adebayani Ayubi Okida Idokalkiat Momidat Wanami Istam Waga Midal Wadowe Midapatu Walaka Momil Istaman Wakubidai the Dono Istoy and Namagan Idokalkiat lagi mata oga lagi kumedios pa oga dispun wege ibu wage pokal lagi kumedi di kumedeno wa di yas pa Sabakali. Pagkita na naman ang iyong midaan at ang panamakat. Yung gomit at dimiyas ka, ispas ka David at yung umakat yung matay. May kurabi, yung discover and destroy. Amen.
Bravo.